chunkier though. I didn't do it, no, I didn't care.
Welcome everybody to the second episode of the Bonanza Breakdown. I'm once again joined by undefeated professional boxer Alex Hughes and amateur and professional coach Brett Paddy. And once again we're just going to start talking some shit about boxing. I think we'll start off with Canelo versus Yildirim. What do you think on that, boys?
It was everything I expected, to be fair. I can't see anywhere near them.
You've got to question these mandatory positions, mind.
Yeah. I don't understand that we had this discussion the other day.
Yeah.
I've never known a mandatory to come off a loss. As in get the position.
There must have been some fat paychecks being thrown around for,
of course there was.
Because
Turkish mafia.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the WBC would never allow that, would they?
Well, if in Mexico they seem to. They get away with murder.
I don't understand how it works, because I know that I was talking to someone in the week and they were saying that they were holding his purse back. I think he didn't even throw like a 3 or 4 combination. He just tacked up and just hoped for the best, really. And I think, to be honest, Canelo could have got him out there in the first round. He went that long because he allowed it.
But back to the mandatory situation, I've seen fighters come off losses and even come back into eliminators, and they've had to have like a 4-round warm-up fight to get a win under their belt.
Anthony Yard done it after Kovalev.
And I'm positive Liam Smith went to Spain for a little 4-rounder before the first Liam fight, because that was for the interim world title.
It's crazy. I don't know if people remember, but you just see what Eubank done to him.
Yeah.
That was that was in the World Boxing Super Series. How long ago was that? 3 years ago?
It's been 3 years ago, yeah.
How long did it go?
3 rounds.
3 rounds as well.
Yeah, same 3
I think he had one fight since, and he lost to Durrell, wasn't it?
Durrell. That was his last loss, and then he went on to fight Canelo and lost again, and never barely threw a punch. So what we can make of it, what do you take from Canelo's performance? I know there's not a lot to go by, but you know, did you see anything in that fight?
Not really. I think what you got to look, you got to weigh it up. So if obviously Canelo, even though the Canelo says he doesn't, every fighter take one step at a time. He had his eye on May the 6th with Billy Joe, so he was looking at it as a warm-up. But when you evaluate and reflect on it, did he get a rounds in? No. Did he have anything coming back on him? No. So it was a pretty pointless exercise.
Glorified sparring session kind of thing.
Like Teddy Atlas
paid 10 million for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he had it, he got the benefits out of it. But Teddy Atlas made a point saying, if you brought Yildirim into sparring for the camp, and he performed like that, you'd send him home, and because he wasn't then used to. I imagine you know that.
100%. And I think with Yildirim, I bet he had his biggest purse for that fight by a million miles. And he probably thought by the time he got it with that right hand, my money's going in our bank anyway, which I don't know if it is now because they've looked into it. And it's probably a lot harder to get up when you've got probably 2 million sitting in your bank.
Yeah. It just makes a mockery of the mandatory shot.
It does. It really does. And something like that make a mockery of boxing as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he should have been in the ring.
So going on to Canelo's next performance, which is now announced straight after the fight with Billy Joe Saunders. How do you see this fight playing out?
I think wrong time and wrong weight for Billy Joe.
Wrong weight?
Wrong weight, yeah. I just don't think that. I think if, in terms of skill set, Billy Joe's got all the skill set apart from the power to beat Canelo, if there's such a thing.
Yeah.
I just think at super middle, Canelo's an animal anyway, but at super middle for Billy Joe, he doesn't hit hard enough at middleweight, never mind stepping up.
And I think that weight for Canelo seems perfect for him.
Oh, he's just warmed in there.
The way he seems to hydrate from the weigh-in to the fight.
Yeah.
He looks like a 20-year-old boy in the weigh-in.
Do you think super middleweight allows Billy Joe Saunders to have a lazy camp? Do you think it's giving him too much room?
100%. I think, like, you hit the nail on the head, Billy Joe, you've got the skill set to cause anyone any problems. The talent the man seems to have is crazy.
Yeah.
But he's just a loose cannon. And I don't know whoever trained him, I don't think he can keep him under control. And to be fair, Dom Ingle, I think he's brought the best out of him so far.
with Lemieux.
With Lemieux.
Yeah.
I think Lemieux might have been tailor-made for him.
Yeah, he was.
Do you mean it made him look good? But I think Dom did kind of keep him a bit on track. But then again, he seems to just go off on one end. He does stupid stuff. So personally, for me, I wouldn't give him the fight. I don't want to say it.
but when you look at it, right, you got Canelo, and I'll explain why I mean wrong time. Canelo's come on. Oh, how many times he boxed in the last 4 or 5 months? 3 or 6 months? 3 times.
Yeah.
So he got the momentum going into the fight. It's the right. So the momentum going into the fight, even though he's pushing people over, he's got the momentum going into the fight at the right weight. Billy Joe's at the wrong weight with no form, no fights whatsoever. Yeah. They're not stupid. They're not doing.
I think he gave him nightmares 4 or 5 rounds.
Because just like Khan did.
Yeah.
Because when you shuffle your feet against Canelo, but he adjusts, and I just think that, like I said, it's the wrong time and the wrong way. Look, I'll be tuned to it, same as anyone else, because I want to see. And look, I hope that Billy Joe.
I do.
I just think it's a wrong time for him.
But Billy Joe can be an at the moment performer, and can he pull off a performance of a lifetime, and maybe cause the upset?
Oh yeah, but let's do. You're only as good as your last performance.
Yeah.
He boxed Martin Murray at super middleweight. Personally, myself, I looked at it. Yeah, he beat Martin Murray convincingly, but Martin Murray is 104. He's coming to the end of his career. Yeah, he's still a very, very good fighter. But if that Billy Joe turns up to box Canelo the way they did again, it's not happening.
No. If you didn't know either names and just watched their 2 performances, you'd think it wouldn't go past 3 or 4 rounds, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But one thing I will say, you can pull it up the bag like Billy Joe.
I think Billy Joe's the kind of fighter who fights who's in front of him.
Yeah.
Seems to step it up. And he does. And I think when he's on it, he is one of the best.
You were a bit like that.
Yeah, I was not quite a Billy Joe there.
But a classic example of just what he's talking about there is raising the level. Is that I think, and I'm not joking when I say that, when you were boxing and when you were sparring, I've seen you spar like a senior amateur. Very, very basic. But I've also seen you share the ring with the likes of George Groves and Kell Brook and you're going with them and edging the spar and really bringing your level up. So it does happen.
It does,
You just got to switch on when.
And I think
I think he's very similar.
Yeah, and I think if he can be switched on for 12 rounds.
Yeah, so it's a long time to be switched on, Canelo.
He might
any mistake, and he's going to be.
He might turn up and run.
Yeah.
And he can win a fight with a back foot.
Yeah.
But he seems a master at kind of pressuring you and making you work without doing anything.
Yeah.
So he's saving all his energy.
Lots of activity without throwing.
Just with that little pressure
and with his feet.
Yeah. I love his style. I think he's head and shoulders a minute above nearly anyone. Yeah.
So say this fight with Billy Joe wasn't happening. Who else at super middleweight would you have preferred to see him?
Everyone was raving about Callum Smith, right? I think Callum Smith's a fantastic fighter.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people say, he didn't do it. I don't think Canelo let him do anything.
But no,
it's not a case of. But
that's what people don't understand. People don't
what's in front of
that.
him, and he's very, very good. Like you said, in terms of his activity, without even throwing. A lot of people think when they're boxing, you've got to be effective to throw shots. And that's not the case. There's more to boxing than just hitting people.
Of course it is, yeah.
And he does it very, very well. He's got a huge skill set.
Yeah.
So to answer what you're saying, John, I would have said Callum Smith. You've got Billy Joe, name me some other super middles. What's Jacobs wandering on that now?
I know, Benavidez, he looks a handful. And Plant. The only time you ever see Canelo struggle is with movers, and Plant seems a lovely, lovely mover.
But Billy Joe is as well.
Yeah, he can throw some combinations together, Plant.
And he's got a lot of range and stuff for Canelo, but I don't know whether he'd have that to keep him off.
Yeah, the strength. That's the other thing.
Do you know what I mean?
You've got to have a certain amount of strength.
You've got to have.
Not just with your shots, but in your legs as well.
Yeah, you've got to. Do you mean you've got to have someone to have that bit of respect, even if they just close that distance, just to nudge them off a little bit. Do you mean?
Yeah.
To give them something to worry about. Where his movement and boxing IQ, Killer Plant's phenomenal, but I don't know if he'd have that 12 rounds in him to keep Canelo off.
I'm looking forward to him. What is it, May the 6th?
Yeah.
It'd be good. I think I seen the other day Billy Joe is going out to India.
He's going to India,
I seen something where he's going out there to get himself away. So obviously, look, it goes without saying, you need to take it seriously. It's the biggest fight of his life.
It's definitely a fight that's open for debate and it get people watching and people
I seen the video
interested.
I seen a video where he posted, you know, something. I know he had his thing on, but he's not in good shape. You normally see Billy Joe. He had like did you see when he announced it, he had like a cooking apron on with his yeah. But you can see, look over there, like, with his what? Yeah, and he looked all there, like, do you mean he looked like he had been training, so he probably known about his fight a long time, they kind of knew it coming again now.
And look, he's going to win, he's taking it seriously, he's still with Tibbs.
I think, and exactly be a good move for him.
Good team around him, I know they don't take any shit, proper old school boxing. And look, fingers crossed he can pull it off. I really hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Let's be honest about it, I think everyone's going on about Canelo. I think went through like a phase of he's not boxing anyone. They put Callum Smith in front of him and he destroyed him.
Yeah.
And then people are saying, oh yeah, we didn't fight back.
Who was the number one super middleweight at the time?
100%.
So he's had this Turkish guy, this Yildirim guy, and that's, but this Billy Joe's the next. You can't blame Canelo. Canelo's putting this.
But Canelo's resume, right, at the moment is absolutely on fire.
54-1, something like that.
Hasn't he drawn one?
With the drawn with the Golovkin.
Yeah.
But like, well, look at the names he's fought. I know some of them have been on their way out of their careers. You know, like the likes of Cotto, Lara, Trout, and they're at the end of their careers, really.
They're all learning fights from him as he's coming through. What people don't understand is, right, Canelo's only 30 now.
Yeah.
I think he was 22 when he fought Floyd Mayweather, which at the time, I think, broke pay-per-view records and stuff. It was one of the biggest fights of all time. 22 years of age.
Well, he's 14, 15 when he turned professional.
You
know, that's a child. You think about a 15-year-old.
What was it? It was
that's like Jack's age.
Yeah, it's like Jack turned professional and knocking men clean out. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it was 2014, something like that. Or 2013, it might even be the Canelo Mayweather one.
It's wild.
We have 22 like.
Yeah, it's mental. But look, I think it's good for boxing. The best are fighting the best. But I do think it's a wrong time, wrong week for him. I might be wrong, mate, and I will be wrong.
The final prediction before we move on?
Canelo win. My heart says Billy Joe, but I just think Canelo's just got that. He's got everything going into it on his side. Location, weight, timing.
Yeah, definitely. Late stoppage Canelo, I think. Late on, I think.
I think that's the same as me. I'm going to go for a late stoppage, maybe 11th. 11th round stoppage. So next thing we move on to is the Welsh Mexican in Gavin Gwynne with his fantastic performance, winning the Commonwealth belt for vacant Commonwealth belt against Sean McComb. Brilliant performance, absolutely riled up for it. What do you think of that, boys?
I was
chuffed for him.
Over the moon, honestly. And what a gutsy grit, do you mean?
It was no stopping him, man.
I don't, do you mean, he would have took, like, the two we've lost to, they fringe world level fighters at the minute. Anything less than that, he's giving them nightmares.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the two, he boxed Joe. Joe's world class, everyone knows that. And Tennyson. So again, his box world honours already. We lost the Kevin Farmer. So, but you know what? In terms of Gavin, works really hard, lives, breathes, breathes it. I really chuffed for him. I was not surprised that he won. I was surprised the way how he won. And how he ended up stopping. He made him quick. He broke his heart. But I will say, look, if that was the game plan, to break him down. I think that guy Sean McCool's got a really good amateur record. So he done wonders in the amateurs. And I looked at him and I looked at his style and I thought, because he's very got great form, works a pocket really well, southpaw, long range. I thought he was going to give Gavin nightmares. But after that first or second round, you could just see that, and Gavin broke him down. And to see him turn round and quick,
dragged Sean into Gavin's fight. And from there, you know, you're not going to beat Gavin like that, punch for punch, because he got a chin of granite. His work rate is absolutely unbelievable, and he dragged him.
I was chuffed for him, and you know what? Overall, he's such a nice guy as well. Like I've only met Gavin a couple of times, and I messaged him the morning of the fight just to say, look, as I do with lots of Welsh fighters who I've been connected with, best of luck. And he always replies, and he's just a nice guy. Like.
Yeah. And I think to young amateurs coming through, I think Gavin could be the perfect example. Because you look at Gavin, and he's not lucky enough. He hasn't gone with big promoter. He's not lucky enough to be blessed with super talent. Because he's not. Do you mean he hasn't got?
He knows that.
Yeah, he knows.
All his body is just down to hard work, guts, and determination. I think many youngsters coming through
because he'll fight the best.
These youngsters coming through will need to look at that. And really, if you have a knowledge as blessed as some of these fighters, you still dig in and work as hard as them. You will get it, and I think Gavin's a perfect example of that.
And I think they stuck to it. I think what he has done is. And there's been like debates about but people say, oh yeah, he's not the biggest puncher, he's not this, he's not whatever. Yeah, but he can take good shots. Look, see it as it is. Having a good chin is not a tactic.
No, of course not.
No, it's not.
You can't win it so you can take a shot. It's just like saying a goalkeeper in football can save shots. But I think what they've done and what he's done, he's made the most of his skill set and made it work for him. 100%. It didn't work against Joe and it didn't work against Tennyson. But you've got to take it out of him. I'm really chuffed for him. And he's a local lad as well.
Move for him, honestly, I was. What a performance.
So,
cracking.
Let's get on to a bit about how the fight ended. Sean turned his back, he didn't want no more. He's been open about the fight. He's been open that he quit. What do you think about it?
I think he came out and said that when he was halfway through, what did they stop, 7? At the end of the 6th, he just thought to himself, look, it's not about me anymore, I've got my kids, and look, he's beat up, like, he was marked, and he gave that one last hurrah, and then just thought, and turned his back.
But then after this, he said that it was just a Royal Silver moment, he don't actually know what's going on, he just thought, fuck it, was his words, and
he
kind of regretted it. The second time he kind of regretted it.
I think Gavin's all wrong for him, man.
Regretted as in...
Regretted quitting. Regretted turning his back. He said it was a split moment decision, but then after the referee waved it off, he said...
You'll always regret it when it's done. You'll always be gutted when it's done, but...
I think same outcome, man.
At the time, it's not as if he was getting tired in the 10th and 11th round. It was only halfway through the fight. He had a hell of a long way to go.
With Gavin, could throw a million punches per round.
He just probably got
500 rounds.
Get out there now early before I get beat up out there kind of thing.
He was, man. He was
he was getting on.
There's some mad cuts in that fight.
That's 2 fights.
No, Gavin had a cut in the back of it. I've never seen that before.
And it happened, with Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly, that's
the week after. I was... believe it.
On the back of his head.
One of them was a jump down the back.
They were throwing bricks on the ground.
Do you know what? And obviously, when your blood is pumping and you're warm, it was pissing out. So Sean was pissing out. I thought there was blood everywhere.
Blood bath.
I remember that when Spike O'Sullivan went. He knocked this guy out in Ireland, and it was like a big rivalry thing. And after the, you can see the video.
Where was that? That was
in Ireland, right? And he knocks this guy out, and it was a big rivalry thing, right? And he jumps up on a rope, and he like this. And you can see on the cameras and the chair flies past his head. Whoa! Straight down. And you can see Spike, he's like, whoa! Yeah. He's like, and the chair just goes like, wow! Straight past his head.
I see you look to get out there. Yeah, but overall, a fantastic performance. I asked Jay Harris the other day, why do you think Daniel Dubois got a lot more stick than Sean McComb for pulling out of the fight? Why do you think that is?
Bigger profile?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
More people interested.
Respect. Look, no disrespect, but it was on a small MTK show.
Yeah.
And he's more height than Sean McComb. Do you mean the average boxing fan wouldn't really know much about that? I wouldn't have thought. Do you mean I didn't really know a lot about it myself, to be fair. When Dubois was a massive fight, and
it's a big name, isn't he?
And everyone loves to jump on a bandwagon from the year or something, do you mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. I seen a comment on social media not long after the fight, and it said that boxing is kind of normalising now, pulling fighters out of fights early, and quitters pulling themselves out of fights. And is it damaging for boxing? What do you think about that?
It's
a
tough
very
one.
controversial subject,
it is.
you know what I mean?
It's to me, right, it's like, it's a tough one, and it's hard. I don't want to sound too negative on it, but it's like, we go into this sport knowing the consequences.
Yeah. What's the question? Is the question being saved by the corner, or
Too soon.
There's two different scenarios there, man.
Yeah.
As a coach, you've got to look at you would interest as the fighter.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of these fighters need to be saved from themselves.
Yeah.
And
that's what you're there for.
And that's why we're there.
Yeah.
You know the fighter. You know what they're capable of. You know when something's not right. You know if they're hurt.
Yeah.
And how many times have we seen? You even got to see this Wilder and
JDS.
Yeah.
No.
Mark Whelan.
What's that? But he done
But
the right thing at the
Yeah,
right time.
The thing that really pissed me off, right? JDS was getting interviewed after the fight, and he says to the camera, he says, I don't know why Mark Whelan threw the towel. Wilder have always made it clear that he's willing to go out on his shield. And I was thinking, fucking hell, so you were willing for him to die in that ring? You were there in the corner to make sure he done it.
That's pathetic.
Do you know? And he's there on camera
That's
saying that,
pathetic.
I think...
And as a coach, you safety is paramount, and it doesn't matter if I was coaching Al or yourself or wherever, and I stopped the fight for the safety of and Al chose not to speak to me for the rest of my life, then so be it.
So
be it. And
Yeah,
at some stage he would realise that look, you got my back here.
Yeah.
But I think that so you've got that scenario, then you've got the actual fighter quitting. Now, we had this debate on the last one, which seems like forever, but when about people quit. Yeah, but no, you can't make a decision or make a call on someone. We don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
You know, they might have got mental demons. You've got the Sean McComb thing now. You've got the Dubois. Everyone's saying, he quit, he's a quitter. You don't know how much pain that man was going through. You don't know what mental demons were attacking Sean McComb for him to get out there. So I think it's unfair for people to make that call. But I think what you were getting at earlier on is that we were on about where in the UFC that people tackled all the time. So you got on there, someone's trying to snap your arm, and you tap, you had too much, and then no one battles an alien. As soon as a boxer turns his back, he's the biggest fairy ever. I think it's wrong.
Yeah, and I do, 100%.
I think it's wrong.
But boxing has come from a barbaric time, you can trace it back from the gladiators, and when you trace it back, it's gone more, normalised.
You can't make a call on something you don't know nothing about.
Yeah, and I think people still want to see that barbaricness in it. They still want to see, blood and guts every time. They still want to, as boxing fans, we always want to see a knockout.
So I agree with that as well. Like you said, his 2 points, your point was spot on. It's spot on. And his point is right as well, do you mean? But as you said, the main thing is the safety of the fighter. It's spot on.
I noticed that, just to go back on Dubois, he's not with...
No. That's another thing what Real winds me up seeing.
It'd be interesting to know why.
Yeah.
But he's still his manager.
He's still managing it.
Yeah. So you've got to look, I think he's gone with Tibbs, hasn't he? Which, whatever. And if there's that's a tactical change or a mindset change or training change or whatever it may be, then fair enough. I hope it's not down because he thought that he'd give him the wrong tactics going into the fight, and I don't know.
It's all behind closed doors.
Because he didn't pull him out of the fight, did he?
No, he took a knee himself, didn't he?
Yeah, so...
Perhaps that might have been the issue. Perhaps he wanted him to pull him out.
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Look, you need to pull me out, because my eyes are hanging out.
Obviously, I don't know Dubois on the level that he does. But me watching it, I wouldn't have thought he looked like he needed to be put... Do you mean? I wouldn't look back now and think, that coach needed to pull him out there.
No.
But obviously, he knows his fighter more than I know him. Do you mean?
I think it's communication as well.
He wasn't having an hammer him.
No, I think it's comms, and communication. You know your fighter, but look, it's one of them, and obviously he's made that move. He thinks he's going to benefit himself.
Yeah. While we're on the subject of cornering, I'm going to bring up Robbie Davies Jr.'s latest fight, and the decision for him to go southpaw by Dom Ingle.
I can
see
it.
Thought Alex had a lot to say on this subject behind the cameras. This is his moment to shine now. Come on. Let's hear it all. He made the decision for Robbie to go southpaw. It wasn't working. He continued the plan that he wanted to go southpaw.
Not from the beginning of it.
He switched. He switched
after 2 or 3 rounds.
It wound me up for weeks. I feel really sorry for Robbie Davies Jr. He's been with Ingle, it was his first fight under Dom Ingle. He's an orthodox. You can't make him fight no fight southpaw after one fight. This is his first fight. Yeah. Shocking, Dom.
I think watching the fight though, I think look, and I know they got that style because I know obviously Liam trains you when he's home and he spends a lot of time here, and he switches when it's right for him. So when he trains you, if I'm working with Liam and I'm padding him, he'll switch. I can switch with him. Now, but he's comfortable doing that. If I don't think Liam would be in a position to do a whole fight.
Of course not.
He might prove me wrong here, but I'm sure he'll let us all know. But no, I don't think he would, and I think it's unfair. I know that Dominic Ingle was when he's come back to the corner. That was a tactic that he wanted him. And fair play to the fighter, right? And he's come up and said, listen to your trainer. But it weren't working.
And he asked him at one point, can I go back?
Yeah. And a lot of people say to me,
I didn't do that.
A lot of people say to me all the time, well, what would you have done? And you need to do what the fighter is comfortable with. So if the fighter wants to go back as orthodox, then do that.
But Dom was making, comments like, he can't land with that left hand. And every time he threw the left hand, he was landing and whipping his head back with it.
Oh, right hand, so was it right?
The right hand.
The right hand, sorry. The right hand.
But anyone will tell you.
The back hand.
But he was eating it.
But anyone will tell you, an orthodox fighting southpaw, they're more open to the right hand. He kind of what do you mean? And to be honest with you, I rate Dom as a coach. I think he does a fantastic job with his fighters. But I see, and I think deep down in his head, he knows he called the wrong shots that night. He must have. He knows, he called the wrong fight that night, massively.
But I think at some stage, if again as a coach, if you go into especially at that level, you go into a fight with a tactic. You've worked with that fighter for that particular camp, whether it's a 6, 8, 10, 12 week camp, you've got a tactic. Within 3 rounds, you know if that tactic's not working, and you just adjust. And if that adjustment, it's not about, and I'm not saying this is the case, it's not about my ego and you need to stay where I'm doing. If it's not working, you adjust it, reset, and you go again. And I just felt that, because Robbie Davies Jr., I've spoken to him a couple of times on social media. He seems a cracking guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. He's joint boxing around.
But he's a cracking guy. And like you said, I just felt like he just didn't want to be in there because he was doing something he didn't want to do. Yeah. I didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Definitely didn't.
And I've had conversations with these high-end coaches, the likes of Gary yourself, I spoke to Joe and all these, and I've asked them what's their feedback on it. And it's all about your form. So when you're boxing, in your orthodox stance, you're comfortable going forward and you're throwing shots, you're comfortable sitting in the pocket, taking shots, catching and throwing. You switch. And when you speak to people that's got fantastic form, a great pedigree, the likes of Joe, as in Cordina, I spoke to Joe about it, what's your take on it? And Joe's talented, as we know. But he'll say, look, as soon as he switches, he can probably keep his form for 2 or 3 shots. After that, he starts to get a little bit loose. So what does that tell him? And that's someone that's been right through.
And probably one of the most talented fighters in Britain.
And he's probably going to go on to win a world title, not in a short.
So, as a fighter yourself, Al, you were in this position, put yourself in Robbie Davis's position, and you know the tactics ain't working. Would you change yourself, or would you keep trusting your coach?
100% a change.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Because that was what Robbie Davis said. He said, I just put trust in my coach that it was the right thing to do.
But I don't think he should be in a position to make that decision. The coach should just say, look.
It was, because it was clearly not working. And I honestly think Robbie Davies Jr. is probably a better fighter than that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I 100% believe that.
He's probably boxing at around 60%, if that. Because, like you said, he was knocked all out the line. Every time he gets hit with a shot, when he's going back, his feet are all over the place, and because he's not used, it just knocks everything out the motion for you when and taking shots, you're not quite as comfortable as rolling with them because you're all out the line.
Yeah.
And it just, it was strange. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It was really strange.
It'd be interesting to see what Robbie Davies Jr.'s next steps are. Not as a coach, mind. I don't think he's one of them that's going to do it. I'm going to leave now.
No,
stay with you.
He has said that
but
he's staying.
where he goes from how things will progress for him now, because there was a big opportunity there for him.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah. I mean, and it's things like fighting old fight southpaw. They don't happen overnight for you.
No.
That's years of practice.
Yeah.
Man. Do you mean?
Yeah.
That's his third loss on his record now. He was going to have the rematch with Ritson. If that rematch comes, do you think what do you think of that?
Great fight, mind.
Yeah, fight. We was watching up your house, like I'm bouncing off my seat. What a fight that was!
It was like a video game.
Brilliant fight, to be fair.
Do you think Robbie Davies Jr. will go back to basics now after that fight? Take everything.
Yeah, I don't think there's so much going back to basics for him.
Just going back to stick to what he knows.
Yeah, and do you know, maybe tweak him, and maybe if you do a fight and you want to go somewhere for like a few shots, by all means.
Yeah.
Don't do a whole fight, southpaw. Do you know what I mean? He's a talented guy, you can see that.
Yeah.
So maybe he could probably get away with a 1-2 switch and bang, then go back.
Yeah.
He could probably get away with that. By, do you mean, and confuse the guy you fight in. But an old fight.
I think after you'll know, you can relate to this, after every fight, I think for me, is a lot of it with the fighter is about reflection. So you reflect on how the fight went, what was good, what was bad, and then you just kind of come up with a game plan, not just in the things you need to be working on.
Put the pros and cons in.
Yeah, and you just mix it all up, and what he felt was right, or what she felt was right, what the coach thinks was right and wrong, and you just chuck it all in and you just start working on things. I think one thing that came out of that fight, Robbie Davies Jr. struggled in the southpaw position.
Oh, yeah.
So moving forward, you just don't do that.
Don't do that,
or do it in patches, as and when you feel comfortable to do it.
Because obviously he's done bits of it in the gym.
Of course, yeah.
For him. I don't think if he'd never say, I don't think Dom, he's too much of an experience and a good coach to say, right, you're just going to go in there off the cuff now. Never seen him But it's like I say, it's a different ball game under those lights of being in the gym sparring again as well. Do you mean your comfort zone? Yeah. And he was a strong guy, that guy fought as well. Do you mean he didn't stop coming forward?
Well.
Yeah.
Done the basics very well, didn't
he? Yeah.
Long levers.
Yeah. These Mexicans are not to be played about with, as was proved with another Mexican upset with Wallington, Josh Wallington. What do you think of that?
I watched it in the house with my boy, and as soon as he come out, I said he's going to get stopped. He's going to get clipped that left hook.
Yeah.
So as I
said
the other night, you can see as soon as he reminded me when Prescott come out was slinging them lift ups around at Khan when he sparked him out all them years ago.
Yeah.
And you just, as you're looking at it, and you're thinking, and you just, if that's his bigger shot, you just step away from it.
Yeah.
If you're throwing left, step left. But he was walking into it.
Yeah.
And he was only a matter of time, but he just didn't look a shadow of himself. You look at the Warringtonless box. Selby, Frampton, relentless, front foot, head down, arse up, chin down, really taking shots, coming back with a shot. He looked a shadow of himself.
So what was it? Was it was he demotivated from having to get rid of his title and vacating that? Was he unprepared for the fight that was in front of him? Was he overtrained?
I think it's a combination of, you're looking at inactivity.
Yeah, I think there's not people who sick.
Even like the sparring, I was talking to your father about it, and he made a great point where he was saying about the preparation for these fights. Is that an issue? Can you get sparring? Can you get motivated when you're in the gym on your own? Can you? Yeah. So I think it's a combination of lots of things. The title being not strict for him, but he vacated that. Inactivity, the preparation might not have been there. Is he burnt out? Is he getting older?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you roll these into a ball, and you've got a bit of a shit sandwich.
Yeah, definitely. Because it was a big upset, and the way he was finished in it as well. And I don't think many people were thinking that was going to happen at all, despite all of the things put together.
I think what was more shocked as well is that Lara's not a great fighter, man.
No.
Technically, yeah, he's
he's
typical Mexican. Comes forward, swinging shots, take a shot.
Good.
But great.
Good switched on boxer.
Just box his head off.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think this pandemic has separated the good fighters from the world fighters, the elite fighters?
I think it's separated the dedicated fighters from the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think it have.
Yeah, it's tough times. Like
it is tough times because me, when I was boxing, if I'd known I wasn't going to be fighting for a year, would I have been in the gym every day, dying in that?
We couldn't get him in.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Only man have a week and a half camp and pull it off. And I mean, gym sparring as well.
I think with someone like me, it would have shown.
Yeah.
Because I think, and you got the likes of like Morgan Jones was here, Keelan Jones.
Yeah.
They're in fantastic shape all year round, all the way through this pandemic.
Yeah.
They've been out running, and it's not always a fact on them. With me, for instance, I would have been nearly 15 stone.
Yeah.
Thinking, I'm not going to fight this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's shown.
I think that separates.
It does.
Yeah. Because Yildirim has had this, and you've said it from the start, stay ready.
Stay ready.
And and he's called fighters up.
I think another big point, I think you made previously as well, is that I'm loving these 50-50 fights.
Oh, yeah.
They're just like, you wouldn't have had, Lee Eaton posted something on, and I like Lee, by the way, he's a sound guy, right? He posted something about when Gavin beat Sean McComb. He said there's two really fit. They put in, because Sean McComb was a prospect for MTK, and there's another one I lost that night. I can't remember his name. And he said we're taking a risk with these, and they both lost.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, where those careers going to go?
Yeah.
But I think it's great. Even when you take you right back to the fight camps and Yildirim, when he had him in his back garden.
Yeah, brilliant.
They're all 50-50 fights.
Yeah.
And that's why, and as a fan, not as someone else.
How good are the boxing shows to watch at the minute as well?
Oh, brilliant. But
Do you mean?
You just can't get enough of it, do you don't want him to end.
Don't see a bad fight.
And he shouldn't have taken a pandemic to make this happen.
No.
You know, you look at UFC and the way he's structured everything. And Yildirim mentioned a few times that he wants to put boxing that way, but it's nothing possible. But at the moment, boxing is thriving to watch.
It is, and it's the 50-50. That's what the fans want to see. Not just the people that are knee deep in it, I guess, but the fans out there, the neutral fan that want to. You get people.
It draws people in.
Yeah. Don't you see that fight in the weekend?
The boxing has it.
Yeah.
I'll watch that next week.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly, because normally what happens is boxing's got a terrible reputation of. Yeah, if you've got a prospect coming through, they don't fight anyone.
No.
For example, you have probably had 1 or 2 fights that you were really to be switched on, but up to that point, you couldn't get up for them.
You meant to win.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They learning fights, they are, aren't they?
But I think this pandemic affected boxers massively. And I think it has shown, you see these prospects losing, which I know they're 50-50 fights, but a lot of them are class who lose.
Yeah.
And they probably do mean. But and I know
it's not the end of their career.
No, it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
Just going to say
and it might, a loss early on in their career might strive them on to go even better.
You said about Eddie, stay ready. I know what a boxer's like, so stay ready in the sense of Eddie would have phoned one of them 4 weeks out probably. Right, I can get you fighting in 4 weeks. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I've been in the gym now for 4 months. Yeah, I'm ready. What weight you at? 11-10. Right, can you make that what you weigh now? Yeah, I'm in 12-4. You put on 14 stone.
Yeah.
And they lying, do you mean?
Together fight.
Yeah, because that's the boxers, do you mean? They haven't had any money for the best part of the year.
And that's the other point.
Talking from personal experience.
but I think another point is always hit the small time or the
poor man.
Financially, right? There's probably fighters that we all know that were training, that were boxing. Like for example, talk about Rhys Edwards, right?
Yeah.
We all know Rhys really well, and he's a massive prospect, a huge talent.
Massive.
Ugly boy.
Yeah, a huge talent. But I know he hasn't boxed for over a year. He has earned no money. Meredith Thomas, nothing. I know that like Chris Jenkins, I know he's boxing the British in a couple of weeks. Morgan Jones, Robbie Vernon. You got the likes of Ashley Bray. There's loads of them that they have to go and find work. And when you find work in a day, what does that do? Disrupt your training. So all of a sudden, what's happened? Like Robbie is training up here, and he's training was training full time. He had to go and get a job. So what happens now is that he's up at 6 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever he's up. He's going to finish till 5. on the shuffle all day, knackered, and then I expect to come up here to have an hour and a half pad session. It's tough for him.
And as well, like,
it's tough.
Going back to the likes of Reece. Oh, you cut that out. Going back to the likes of Reece, I honestly think Reece is capable now of going with anyone in Britain in his weight, right? But he's at that age, what is he, 19, 20?
Yeah.
Can't fast track him. You can't really, you don't want to put him in a 50-50 fight. There's an away fight on a matchroom bill at the minute. No. A 19-year-old kid. Yeah. He's capable of winning, but you don't want to fast track him. Because once you hit that level, you can't go back.
Yeah.
If he goes now and beats some from British title eliminator, he can't go and win the British title, then after that fight, go and fight for
going back to that level, you've got to keep moving forward.
This is the other side of boxing that people don't see. So in terms of the management of it, so I know that he's obviously he's obviously trained by Gary, who manages him with the likes of Mo Pryor. Now it's a tough call for them because when you look at Reece, where just say for example he's going to potentially lose 18 months for the time he boxes. So 10-0.
In the space of a year, that
was okay. But when you see him day to day in the gym like I do, the training, sparring world class, British level, commonwealth level, world class, and you can see it's hard to hold him back. Because you got, I know the likes of we should speak to Reece. I want. But then you got the likes of Gary saying, "Oh, like simmer down." It's
that's always a fighter's mentality. Let me at that. It is. But like I say, he was 19 years of age.
You got plenty of time.
He's got so much time to grow. Because if he's this good now at 19, imagine when he's 25, 20.
When he peaks,
it's going to be a different gravy again.
Yeah.
You don't want him peaking too soon, and it's such a frustrating time for him because people are like, he is good enough to go there now. But you don't want to throw him into the Lions Den now because he can't come back out there once he's in there. Do you mean?
Yeah.
So how long do you think after this pandemic and everything starts getting back to normal, how long do you think it's going to be to take to get back to normal for these fighters?
What, crowds?
No, the fighters in general, getting the fights together.
I think
the local fighters more than anything.
Without crowds, it's going to be because the revenue's not there.
It's going to be difficult to bring them back.
You look at the small old promoters, as you know, it's all about ticket sales. You don't sell tickets.
Yeah.
Tickets not sold. The show doesn't go on. So it's hard. It's difficult.
Yeah.
The small old shows, you've got to be talking the end of the year before. I would even say before
What I was saying, the small old shows, with restrictions coming in, are they going to have to be 50-50 fights on there as well then?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they're going to have to be, innit?
Because they can't fly people in.
So a lot of the time on ticket deals, they got to fight the next prospect for maybe sometimes if you're not selling no tickets, £100.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen.
It's not.
So I reckon it's going to be the end of the year before. I think the small old stuff. I think what you'll find is medium to high end. When I say medium, you're talking MTK, Matchroom, Warren, like obviously the top ranks and all that. But they'll carry on going. I think Matchroom have got like a bit like early February. They're like 12 shows on 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is a phenomenal effort. And look, he's the best about. But in terms of the small old stuff, I think it's going to be a long, long time. And that's why I think. Well, I keep on saying to certainly the pros that train up here, Ashley Morgan and now Robbie Vernon, what you said earlier on, you just stay ready. Because if you stay ready, an opportunity may come.
And they'll show.
And they can jump, like someone like Morgan, for example, is at the level in his
career. He hasn't been on the gym, has he?
No. He trains and trains.
And I feel like he's improving.
Yeah. An opportunity comes along, he jumps in there, he gets a title shot, win that, and then he just catapults it.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep on emphasising just to stay ready.
Brilliant. We'll finish off with the possible KO of the year with Valdez. What do we think? That's one knockout. Do you think there's going to be a knockout to beat that this year?
It's hard to say, but it's one of the worst I've seen for like that's the type of knockout where the corners fucking get that get it off right now. Before it's so bad, it's fucking that's when
before it's landing the towels.
Yeah, you know it's bad.
I think with that though, right, that knockout, like it's a nasty knockout. Like I haven't seen you just show me, but it's his momentum. He's falling in.
Yeah,
he's throwing his shots.
His car crashed.
It's like hitting it with a baseball bat. That is. It is. It's doing. You know it's bad because no one ain't go down. They didn't put their hands up before they fall.
Canvas burn.
Yeah, but that's they worry a knockouts. Them ones, are they? You know, you do what you worry a bit then, and it was the other angle. It was kind of from the. It was like it was someone was doing it on the phone.
It would look like from a corner man's angle, really.
And
didn't it?
the noise in it is sickening. His stomach turning the noise in it. Yeah, terrible.
Well, that's what we watch boxing for.
It is. It sounds brutal and terrible, right?
All a man's nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds brutal and terrible, but it's just sport we love. Like.
Yeah.
Do you mean?
You know, he was having a bit of success before that as well, and then all of a sudden, poof!
I think he said he just come running with his chin up in there and bang! I think he was well down on the cards and he was getting a bit desperate when he getting a bit desperate when he was thinking, oh, all or nothing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Car crash.
Oh yeah, train wreck with him. Bang!
Great stuff. I think we'll finish up on that if we're both happy with that.
Yeah, shut on.
Thank you everybody for joining. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and see you soon.
Linking